Hey there, it's Jenny, and I am here today to share with you a plan as I go video, except for I'm just going to be doing it all at once because I'm behind. So I'm using these rub-ons. I'll link them below. They are stunning. It is a rainbow of leaf clusters. And so I'm going to use that inspiration to create a rainbow leaf week. I know, really original, right? But I think in the end, you'll see that the outcome is fairly original for planner spreads. So I don't know if you know about rub-ons, but they come on a clear sheet. You remove the backing and then you rub the top sheet onto your surface. They rub onto anything. So I could rub them onto plastic, I can rub them onto paper, I can rub them onto photos, whatever. They're usually very easy to rub off. This package came with that little white, I'll call it a bone folder, but it's not a bone folder. It's a tool. Let's call it a tool, shall we? The plastic is not as hard as a bone folder to rub the rub-ons off. Some packages come with popsicle sticks. So you can trim them and cut them, and that is what is recommended so that you don't rub off more than you want to use. Because yes, you can get them off the surface, but then you cannot reuse them. So in the interest in being able to reuse them, you want to trim only the portions that you want to use. I am looking to create my basic visual triangle first with the rainbow colors, and that's where I'm going to start, is with that really super basic design. Now that rogue leaf that's there in the center, the top center, it fell on the paper. It was going to stick there. I could erase it and remove it, or I could leave it. And I knew that my overall design would include some floating leaves, if you will. And so I decided to leave it and work around it and see what happens. Because in the end, if I choose, I can remove it using either like an adhesive eraser or undo or something like that. So they do come off. It's not a problem. Now, the other thing about rub-ons is that they're not all created equal. Some are higher quality than others and more buttery and easier to rub off. These are pretty good. They're not the best I've ever used, but they're pretty good. And they are stunning, and there were a lot of them in the package. So those are all definitely bonuses. I got mine at a cherry on top, and like I said, I will link you up below. Now, then you can store the rest of the sheets until you're ready to use them again. Cool thing about these is that there's a wide variety of sizes. As you've seen, there's that really large green one, large blue one, smaller yellow ones, medium size red and yellow, red and orange, and then some small of all of the colors. Now I'm going to add the dates to the week, and I'm going to stick to the overall colors. This color, these rub-ons only have red, orange, yellow, green, and blue. They don't have purple, they don't have pink, so you won't see those in my numbers. And I'm kind of stretching out orange or yellow really kind of through the middle, and green a little bit too, I guess. Kind of hard to explain, but I think that when you see the finished product, you'll understand what I mean about stretching out those middle colors, since there's only 5 and there's 7 columns. Now, because the leaf design is really overwhelming, and I don't mean overwhelming in a bad way, it's very, very substantial. I am not going to use boxes or labels or anything like that for my overall planning purposes, because I want to make sure that the focus is kept on those leaves and there's not just so much competing for attention this week. So just keeping it super simple with the clean color dot markers to highlight the activities. Now, if you have not picked some of these up yet, but you do love using bullet points or those types of things, I highly recommend it. I've talked about this before, but I have been using these for well over a year now, like really coming up on a year and a half, and I'm just so pleased with them. I would definitely buy them again, and I say that with complete sincerity. I purchased them myself with my own money the first time, and I would absolutely purchase them with my own money a second time. Now I'm just writing these things in, though I am doing that, adding that extra downstroke in some of the words so I can add a little extra pop of color as well. It's just fun. I'm not doing it every day or anything like that either. It's really only some of the days, and particularly it seems to be at the beginning of the week. But I think it's cute. It adds a slightly more whimsical look to the overall week, and I enjoy doing it. So seems like a win-win if you ask me. You'll have to forgive the lighting in this video. Well, I guess you don't have to forgive it, but I would ask that you would forgive it. I film underneath a window, and it was a windy day here in Southern California when I was filming this. And so the sun was going in and out of the clouds, and it was actually really beautiful, but makes it a little bit difficult to get consistent light for my videos, which I am not complaining about because I really get a large portion of the year to film beautiful videos with perfect light. So I could never complain about that. You could see Thursday had literally like all of the things on it. So I only ended up with like the tiniest bit of extra space. And you can see I'm not filling in any of the extra space as I go, which typically in the past, that's definitely something I've done, which is fill in the extra space like each day, like add in little decorative elements. This I'm waiting because I want to be able to use the what are they called? The rub-ons, the smaller rub-ons to fill in, but I really need to see what space I have left in its entirety. So like, oh, can I use a medium-sized one? But I need to know what space there is totally before I do that. Or I want to. I guess I don't need to. I could just fill it in anyway, but I'm not going to. So just like usual, I'm sort of clustering these things together so that I can leave bigger spaces. You can see right there, for example, on Sunday, that it's a much, much bigger space so that I could add to that already decorative cluster right there. Now I'm going to trim off a portion of this. You can see that right there. And that's so that it fits better here on the page. That was my intention when I cut that off. I didn't want to have it go further to the left, and I did not leave it there when I rubbed it on because I didn't want any of it to get on my desk because I didn't want to have to clean it off, honestly. And so I just trimmed it off. Now, one of the things that I love with these extra little leaves is making it kind of look like they're falling from the sky. Like if you're envisioning like leaves floating down from the trees, what that might look like, that's sort of what I'm mimicking here, is leaves just floating down to the ground. And my overall design idea is that these leaves this is just like a bramble, like a whole messy cluster of branches and stuff. Now that little leaf that I cut off, I was able to just add it to the top right there, and I didn't even intend to do that. It was super cute. All right, so now I can fill back in over on the other side. Now I definitely still want to leave some white space, as in a lot of areas like in forests and messy gardens and things like that, you will find spaces where there's just dirt. So they're leaving white space. Okay, nature's not leaving white space, but I'm leaving white space to give your eye a place to rest. I just didn't want this to be incredibly overwhelming. So yes, I'm filling in, but I'm also just leaving some space for your eye to move around, for it to rest, and those types of things. So now I'm adding little leaves here and there that can float down to the bottom and rest, but I'm also adding a couple more smaller little branches as well that just sit nicely on the layout. Right, so I'm almost finished, but that right-hand side at the top needs a little something else. I need to add a couple more leaves, and then I am all finished. Thanks so much for stopping by and watching. If you're curious about the rub-ons, I will link them down below. And if you have any other questions, please make sure to leave a comment, and I'll do my best to get back to you. Thanks so much, and make it a great day.